I'm Group Director of IT for Ittihad International Investment. So we are a group holding conglomerate company with around 11,000 employees and 2,000 business users. So that's our landscape. And we are 35 companies, 35 companies with verticals of manufacturing, medical services, trading, construction, waste management, facilities management, furniture trading, fit out, etc. So it's a very diverse business line, and the IT department itself is the profit center of the organization, and we do cross-billing to our entities. Now, having that said, coming back to the essence of the question, reporting plays a very key role. And this reporting comes in two aspects. One is the federated nature of reporting, where we look of all IT reporting as a group level for the holding company. We are a listed company in Sukuk, so there is a dimension towards that. And then there is a dimension of individual entity level reporting. Why? Because we're almost like a service provider for all of those companies. So now panning down to the question. So we compile reports all the way from every touch point system of cybersecurity, whether it's email security, whether it's the privileged access management, whether it is we do awareness trainings. So there is a monthly update on who's done the awareness training, what is the security rating for every individual employee. And then comes with regards to, we have the EPP EDR solutions, we have also the managed detection. So we give this entire spectrum so that the management of that entity is aware that what is the exposure that I'm having to the outside world when it comes to cybersecurity. This is the key elements, and anything that needs to be flagged, highlighted, we conduct one-on-one meetings, and anything that is on a group-wide level that needs to be addressed typically find its way to the executive committee, as we call it. And if there is a significant investment and justification, then it goes all the way to me. So I'm in a better position than my colleagues who would have come and had these sessions with you. So my businesses are way more traditional in nature, and they're all B2B. So one big element of compliance, or whether even the whole GDPR sort of privacy, data information, it's not applicable to us because we're not holding such information. We are purely B2B businesses. All of our 35 plus companies are all B2B in nature. And our AI initiatives are more, it's not on the customer delightment and customer engagement aspect, because that's very minimal for us. For us, it's more internal. So we're now talking about scenarios like, I have 11 manufacturing plants in my group. I will be talking about how can I increase my asset life cycle from 5 years to 7 years.
Okay.
Or how can I reduce the number of shutdowns? What approaches can I take to reduce the number of shutdowns? Because we have capacity when it comes to revenue, because a manufacturing plant can reach 100% and you cannot produce more. That's the capacity of the plant. So anything that's going to hit on the P&L and those is now typically going to be on the savings area. So any avenue where we can optimize the process, where we can reduce shutdowns, where we can increase life cycles in those areas is for us, that is like gold, if you're able to tap into those spaces. We follow a very strict GRC methodology.
Okay.
So every data that is shared to any system falls under this framework that we have. In our organization, every process of every company is mapped out. Every bit of data that is associated to that process is mapped out. So, and we have also an element for master data governance, because we have data that is unique to the entities, and we have data that spans across all the entities. So this is also controlled, and this is controlled very closely with the compliance and audit department. Our audit teams use these systems what we have built, and compliance, any data that is going beyond the purview of that entity follows workflows and approvals that goes through compliance before we can use it for such application. First thing is I'm going to generalize it a bit. So first thing is every client like me should know what exactly are we looking out, right? And when we say it is not our job to name technology or a framework that's there outside, it should be down to specifics. So what am I expecting to get out of every implementation, out of every system? And this should be associated with metrics. So there are some practices that we follow. One is so all of my department engagements with third-party vendors and channels happen only through the RFP process.
Great.
I do not engage with any vendors while we draft our RFPs. Our RFPs are purely technology and vendor agnostic. And every RFP comes with its metric evaluation criteria and the points and grades and how it's awarded. Now, when we float this out, and the first round is usually with the engagement of vendors. And once the vendors participate, and we follow the POC process and we do the entire, and we have an open door policy. What I mean by open door policy is any questions, clarifications, justifications is shared with all parties.
Okay.
And every rating, so if there is a party that is selected or rejected, the why and how and what rating and score that they got is communicated back.
Okay.
So we maintain that. So that gives them also a comfort of working with us.
Correct.
Now, when it comes to the partners, so once the vendor is selected, we follow the same exercise coming down this time to the partner selection. Now, when it comes to partner selection, additional criteria come into play because now we're talking about implementation, we're talking about service. So new metrics about how many skilled resources you are having, how many certified people, how many industries very similar to mine have you done implementation. So we do such wets and checks, and then at the end of the day, we gun for a successful implementation. I mean, that's pretty much, I believe, the maximum that we can do. And then we sort of tightrope it in with a very strong PMO and governance, and we have a very effective PMO team within our IT department. So one is definitely AI. It's here to stay. So we have to not necessarily get familiarized. You cannot get familiarized with all of the technologies of AI,
Right.
but rather getting very accustomed to the frameworks, to the architectures, and to understand the nuances between the different AI solutions, and what is it that are catering to a complex organization like ours, for example. The other area in which I always engage my peers to dwell deeper is I'm a big fan of governance, risk and compliance. It will come back to bite. So the best and most effective way is to have yourself prepared from day one. You orient and you operate on that framework, and the learnings is not just for me. The learnings goes down to every tier that is there below. So to be able to have that open channel, to be able to measure how every person is improving. We have a very interesting concept in my team. We follow a buddy mechanism. And what the buddy mechanism is, every person is tagged with somebody who is on a higher rating than them. So this allows me to have a fallback plan. You know, teams are very lean in the Middle East, right? So somebody goes on vacation, I have a fallback plan. I have my succession plan clearly defined because I have a buddy architecture in place. So those are some of the mechanisms that we're following. And yeah, like I said, governance and compliance. And at last but not least, I'm also a big fan of sustainability. So we are only on the increasing curve as carbon footprint accounts on our companies with more and more cloud solutions coming on board, with more and more AI adoption. You are basically your carbon ticker is, we are the biggest consumers of the carbon ticker. So being aware of that, and it's high time that we start looking into that, not just for scope 1, start looking into scope 2, scope 3. Where is my hosting provider getting his electricity from? Where are we consuming our paper from? Is it from area where child labor is from? It's high time we start expanding our viewpoints into all of this if we really want to contribute to just beyond our organizations.